Hi there, Massy here, author of a couple of books, The Guidebook to Happiness, The Guidebook to Authentic Success, coach, teacher, and co-owner at this amazing yoga studio I'm at now, The Practice, in Bali in Canggu. So, welcome. I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about this thing that I created called the 30-day challenge. And part of it is, my story. My story was, I was succeeding somewhat in life, but I was unhappy. I was drinking too much, and that was the way I numbed things out so I didn't have to deal with the reality of changing things around in my life. And then something happened. I wake up in the middle of the night. I turn the television on, there's this infomercial, and there's this big guy selling this program called Personal Power. And the guy was Tony Robbins. So back in 1999, Easter 1999, and I remember it clearly, I started doing this 30-day program. And at the end of 30 days, I was a new person. In that same person physically, but I had made some amazing shifts here. And when we shift this stuff internally, when we get clear about what we're thinking, what we're saying, how we're behaving, how we're showing up, we get really clear of that, we can do some amazing shift work. So that was the basis for me. So, fast forward a decade and I'm getting into the coaching field myself, and I really want to give back. And I remembered back to that particular transformation process for me, and I thought, okay, that's fantastic. And I always ask this question, how can I improve on it? How can I improve on it? So I said, how about I take that, how about I integrate some daily rituals and check off on that, because I know the power of daily rituals for setting us up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to have the most empowered day. So that was part of it. And then I'm like, okay, I like the idea of daily podcasts, and I like the idea of doing activities. And I like the idea of a spotlight being on me for 30 days, because I might notice a few things in a few days, but when I look at myself and I look at my life and I look at what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, and I have someone outside supporting that process, I notice so much that I normally wouldn't notice. So that's the power of doing this thing over this period of time. So when I asked myself this question, how can it be improved even more? The big thing that jumped out was, if I had specific coaching and guidance and support over that 30-day period, it would make such a difference. Because one of the things I teach is we only know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. Having someone outside, a professional who's professionally trained to ask the right questions at the right time, to hold the right space to support you as this stuff comes up, makes an amazing difference. So when I created the 30-day challenge, I said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to follow these guidelines. And I've spent 20 years as a strategist, first as a major in the army and then 5 years consulting to Olympic Games. So with my strategic hat on, how can I make this in such a strategically slick way that it sort of flows like this and creates the greatest results? So I decided it needed a preparation phase, and what we're calling the Life Audit, and you actually get that for free, and that's pretty cool stuff. So free Life Audit, preparing you, getting you warmed up, ready to start day one. Going through it, and you've got a coach supporting you the entire way. Every week having a conversation with you to give you a different perspective, to help you process and move through. To ask you questions that draw out key learnings that maybe you might have missed. So I'm a huge fan of the 30-day challenge, and I know it's a life change. I've worked with CEOs, elite athletes. I worked with an athlete one time who was making a comeback. She was almost 40. She'd been number 2 in the world in her 20s at water skiing. Powerful sport. And she decided that she wanted to make a comeback. She'd never got to number 1, so here she was, almost 40, I want to make a comeback. Physically, she was doing some great stuff. She had some great coaches working on the physical, but she knew the difference that was going to take her to this number 1 spot was how she played the mental game, how she processed and managed her emotions. So she used the 30-day challenge. Happy story, she powered through and she became the 2011 world champion for water skiing. So I've worked with her, I've worked with elite athletes, I've worked with CEOs, business leaders, I've worked with actors, and getting over, maybe it's a block, maybe it's dealing with all of these auditions and getting this negative feedback, processing that. I've worked with a client who had cancer. I've worked with clients through the challenge with numerous issues, depression, like any of these things, anything where we want to change how we think, how we feel, how we behave, and therefore what results we get in life. The 30-day happiness challenge is the perfect thing for that. So it's the perfect thing, like I said, to draw out that happiness, to draw out that success, to draw out that abundance. You've had the opportunity now, and maybe you're watching this before you've had the coaching session, but once you have the coaching session and you get to experience what it is like to be in that coaching relationship, you realise how much of a benefit it is for you. Now, CEOs have been using coaches for a long time, making a difference. I don't know, something like 20% or 25% increase in the profitability within their business by having coaching. Athletes have been using coaches for years and years and years. Actors use coaches. In fact, all but high performance use coaches to take themselves to the next level. So here's the opportunity, the 30-day challenge, to go through this process, to have the spotlight on you and have an awesome coach to work with you through that process. And you get to see whether you resonate, whether you connect with the coach prior to you signing up for anything. So I obviously strongly encourage you to take this fantastic opportunity to step into this transformational process, to give yourself this personal gift, this opportunity to change your life as you couldn't imagine. It's amazing, you get to the end of 30 days and you look back and you can't imagine, was that me? Was I the person that did that, that showed up like that performed like that kept repeating these patterns? It's amazing to look back and see that, and I know that you'll have that same experience. So, all you need to do is talk to your coach, find out the details, say, where do I sign up, how do I do this, how do I get started? And you're stepping into an amazing opportunity at transforming your entire life and taking it to an entirely new level. So I'm just so excited about it. I'm passionate about this thing. I'm passionate about the difference it makes. So there you go. I mean, if you've got any questions, ask your coach. I'll be able to answer any questions. If you need to speak to me directly, you can track me down either through my website, carlmassy.com, and my details are there in the website as well. So have a fantastic time on the challenge. Have a fantastic coaching session with your coach. Have a fantastic life audit. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic life. And here's to stepping forward into growth rather than stepping backwards into safety. I know you're going to take that forward step, and I'm so excited for you. So have a fantastic day. Take care, and all the very best.